12 fragrances with a line central fragrances that have a strong sillage. So I could come with something like Gucci Intense Oud. It has a very great sillage, leaves a line central behind, but I wanted to make some sort of appealing list. This is not that much appealing, gets compliments, but it is also a daring fragrance, can get for you negative comments. So forget about this one and start the list with House of Dolce & Gabbana, Light Blue Eau Intense. It is not a beast mode fragrance, it is not very strong, but definitely long lasting. Lasts only 10 to 12 hours plus, and projection is average for first 2 hours, but sillage is above average. It is like room filler type of scent trail. It has some sort of big sillage. I can say it is like room filler. Even like 20 minutes after you left the room, they can smell you there based on my experiences. It is aquatic, it is unique, oceanic and herbal, and has some sort of bitterness at the base and very little citrusy at the top. As I said, this is like 10 to 12 hours plus in terms of longevity. Projection is average for first 2 hours and way above average sillage for first 2 hours. It's needless to say also today's list is designer fragrances. I didn't include any niche fragrance in today's list. Let's continue with Prada L'homme. Another great fragrance that has a long scent trail, I have to say. So it is not also strong, but has a very huge scent bubble for whatever reason. It is not like crazy projecting to your face, but definitely a room filler type of sillage and scent bubble I can get from this fragrance. It is powdery, bright, very unique and fresh. It is like powdery fresh, not like powdery or something for fall and winter. I really like that extremely unique stance of this fragrance. Stands out compared to like 95% of my collection. If you like Amouage Reflection Man, Prada Luna Rosa Sport, this type of powdery bright fragrances, you're gonna enjoy this fragrance as well, and has some sort of floral vibe to it. I have to say, lasts only 10 to 12 hours plus in terms of longevity. Projection is average, soft, velvety, and sillage is above average. Let's continue by House of Paco Rabanne. I have here 1 Million Lucky. This is my favorite one from the line in terms of that sillage. You cannot go wrong with any of these fragrances from the line. Regular 1 Million Parfum, Elixir, Royal, all of those fragrances have great sillage, but this one is another story for me. It is also bubbly like Prada L'homme. It is not a very projecting or strong like 1 Million Elixir, for example, but that scent trail is another thing here for me. I have a better experience, let's say, in terms of sillage with this fragrance. It is a very yummy, gourmand and mouth-watering type of fragrance. It is all about plum and honey. Smells like freshly baked cookies. Very complimenting fragrance, especially from women. Lasts only 10 to 12 hours plus. At some point, even I like it for spring and summer. Not a summer scent, but gets better compliments in the fall and spring, I have to say. Projection is average for first 2 hours. At some points I can say little below average after 2 hours, but sillage is huge. At number 9, I was going to choose Prada Luna Rosa Black or Chanel Allure Sport or Extreme version. Both of those fragrances are at some points close to each other in there. That's powdery sillage, but I prefer another powdery sillage when I compare these three fragrances together, and that is Why Le Parfum from House of Yves Saint Laurent. Definitely it is a citrusy and sweet fragrance. At some points it is rooty and earthy, and at the base it is very thick, powdery and sweet. It is not a strong fragrance in terms of that projection. It is not to your face, but definitely it is strong in terms of sillage and beats Prada Luna Rosa Black and Chanel Allure Sport or Extreme version. If you want to get a better projection and you don't care that much about that central, you can go by YEDP. Beats this one in terms of projection, but in terms of sillage, winner is Y Le Parfum. Number 8 from House of Versace, Versace Dylan Blue. Guys, this fragrance has a very long scent tray, especially in the breezy days, I have to say, or when I'm a bit sweaty. This fragrance is crazy projecting and leaves a very long scent trail behind. It is fresh, a bit old school, not that much modern smelling fragrance, but it is fair enough, I have to say. A bit mature and green, and gets smoky, salty, earthy at the dry down. I can say works great with my body chemistry and just gets me solid compliments and projects very loud for first 2 hours, but sillage behind of this fragrance is very crazy. I can say one of the best fragrances in terms of sillage in the designer game. Let's continue by one of my absolute favorite freshie from House of Versace at number 7, Rasasi Hawas. It is one of those on a steroid, strong, aquatic, fresh and sweet fragrances with the musky dry down. It is all about spices like cardamom. It is like plummy, appley, very sweet, and at the dry down gets muskier. Both of projection and sillage factor is great here. Pushes strongly, projects loudly, and also sillage is huge. Projection is somehow, I can say, like fruity, sweet, but sillage is musky. You cannot get that fruity, sweet central. The central that leaves behind is musky, but projection is like sweet, fruity. I have to say I can get 10-12 hours plus longevity with this one. Projection is solid for first 2-3 hours, and sillage is as well. At number 6 from House of Tom Ford, Ombre Leather EDP. So it is a sweet, powdery, leather-based fragrance, unisex. At the opening it is more feminine, at the dry down it is more masculine. I have to say it is not that type of beast mode fragrance. I can get 7-8 hours plus in terms of longevity, up to 9 hours maximum, and projection is average, little above average for first 2 hours, but sillage is way above average. You can go also by Tuscan leather, shares lots of similarities with that fragrance, but it is like milder version of that fragrance, and I have better experiences with this one in terms of the positive reactions. Tuscan leather at some points can get you negative compliments, or negative comments, let's say. So I prefer this one if you want that inoffensive sillage and projection, but it is up to you. For me, this one is winner in terms of compliments when it comes to Tuscan leather, but Tuscan leather has a better sillage, I have to say. Now we are at top 5. We are going fast. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, remember to subscribe. Without any further ado, the Dior Sauvage EDT. In terms of sillage, it is better compared to the EDP, and Parfum version, it is a citrusy, woody, and green lavender fragrance with touch of pepper at the top and ton of ambroxan at the base. I can hear about reformulation of this fragrance. I have few batches and I don't have that much problem with the projection, sillage. This is one of those older batches, lasts only 12 hours, and newer batches are like 8-9 hours on my skin. Projection is solid for first 2-3 hours, and sillage is even better. Like Dylan Blue, I can say this one gets also crazy in the breezy days. At number 4, I have here Stronger With You, absolutely the best in the line in terms of projection and sillage. Also, I can say at some points beats Stronger With You intensely version in terms of sillage, but projection is same. It is a boozy, very little boozy. It's not that much big in terms of booziness. You can get the whiffs of booziness at the background of the fragrance. It is woody, has some sort of burning feel vibe to it. It is slightly nutty and sweet. Not only full bottle worthy, definitely backup bottle worthy type of fragrance. At top 5 most complimented fragrances in entire my journey, I have to say. Lasts only 12 to 14 hours plus in terms of longevity. Loud projection, loud sillage for first 3 hours. Again, from House of Dior at number 3, Dior Sauvage Elixir. I prefer Dior Sauvage EDT in terms of scent profile, that's better for me, but this one gets also solid compliments, I have to say, and better reactions. But when I compare it in terms of scent profile, I prefer better Dior Sauvage EDT, honestly, but this is also a luxury and solid type of fragrance. Leans more mature and more unisex at some points compared to the Dior Sauvage EDT. Anyway, it is like herbal, it is dark, it is sweet, spicy. You can get cinnamon, cardamom and licorice here, and it is earthy because of ton of patchouli at the base of the fragrance. I can get 12-14 hours plus longevity here. 3-4 hours very crazy projection and sillage. I prefer it for, let's say, except summer, all round. Number 2, this bad boy has a crazy sillage. Easily can beat these fragrances that I already mentioned. These fragrances are here. This one stands at the top in terms of that sillage, but in the same time it is one of my least worn fragrances. Prada Amber Pour-Homme. Smells exactly like a bar of soap, and that's why it is one of my least worn fragrances. I don't want that much smell like soap, which is also a traditional soap here. It is outdated, old school one of those white soap bars. If you have smelled them, you're gonna smell a bit, it's my opinion, like granny with this one. Sometimes when I want to smell neutral, nothing that much offensive, nothing that much complimenting, with anything, I just go with this one, with one spray. As I said, it smells like exactly a bar of soap. You're gonna smell outdated but clean out of shower. And projection and sillage is crazy. 3-4 hours, just everybody will smell you like soapy, and last on my skin 12 hours plus easily. At number 1, the only designer fragrance that can beat Prada Amber Prom in terms of that loud sillage. But at first, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. Let's continue again by Dior Homme Parfum, king of strong fragrances, designer fragrances. I have to say, it lasts like 24 hours plus on my skin, and projection and sillage is just crazy, like out of this world for me. At first 3-4 hours. It's a little bit unisex type of fragrance. It is less powdery compared to the other Dior Homme fragrances, but still you can get. But this one is more about leather. We have very little rose and oud and saffron, one of those hidden oud based fragrances, let's say, to this one, and I prefer it for fall and winter. Take care, guys.